And now he seems happy, he seems relaxed, and he seems as dangerous as he's ever been. And coming into the back end of the year, with all these big tournaments, one after another, you would be a brave man to suggest that James Wade is not going to be featuring the latter stages of at least one of them. Maybe this one.
Yeah, like towards the, as you said, towards the end of the year, he also won the Masters. Beat Merv King from 8-2 down, or
yep.
something
I think
like
it was 9-2.
9-2. I watched him on Sunday down at Coventry, and he was very impressive. Lost to Gary in the end in the, I think it was the final. But he beat Taylor en route, 6-4, and was very impressive. Scored and finished, like his name, a machine.
Well, look, he brought Phil Taylor's ridiculous Blackpool run to an end earlier this year at the match play. There's Sammy, not only his wife as of this summer, but also his manager, the boss.
81.
I should imagine he takes quite some managing.
But you have to say, his upturn in performances
60.
has coincided with Sammy running the show.
Yeah, he seems very content.
James should require 160.
Well, he just wants to set this up now.
100.
And that'll do nicely for Wade. It's not a stellar opening leg by any means, but just wants to get it on the board. He doesn't care about throwing ridiculous average, James Wade.
No,
he just wants to win.
Yep.
99. James
Probably why he's won so much.
60. Game Charlotte first round.
And he is deadly on double top, he is deadly on double 10. And when you're playing James Wade and he fires in double top first dart, you've got to get a bit of a sinking feeling.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough night. It's an amazing tweet, as you know we both like Twitter,
69.
the other day about James becoming only the second player to make 100 quarterfinals on the Pro Tour. And something like 60 semi-finals.
59.
It is a ridiculous record. And it shows he's not just a big stage player, if you like. Because there are those guys who can really turn it on the big stage when the adrenaline's pumping and they have incredible runs in the massive tournaments. But when it comes to the day in, day out floor tournaments, they're just not, they don't seem to be as competitive.
Yeah, Terry, although he's reached so many finals and yet to win one, but you know, he keeps producing it on the floor. He's every year for the last 3 years he's won a ranking, a Pro Tour, a UK Open, and he won one on his 52nd birthday this year. He had 108 average in the final.
Not a bad present to yourself.
No. 10 grand, will help. Loves money, does Terry.
Yeah, he was a guy who, when he was, well, a few years ago, said, oh, once I hit 50, I'll just start winding down. But there seems to be more and more, well, there is more and more money in the game, and it seems to have coincided with a strange, a real surge in enthusiasm from Terry the Bull.
Yeah, he's flat out with the exhibitions as well. He's really busy. Very popular on the exhibition circuit. Puts on a great show, as do all the lads.
100.
Well, just a ton. It is a two-darter, but there's no guarantee that the 88 will go, assuming he gets a go at it, of course.
He loves the 42, yeah, and he certainly loves tops. Oh.
102.
Moved the wire.
88.
He may only get a dart at the bullseye here. 18s he's looking at, and it is the bull he needs.
63. James will require 40.
Tops for 2-0. It's not a bad second prize.
James Wade. Third leg James, the throw first. Game on.
Well, he's had one in the tops and one in the 10s. That's what James Wade does. Winner of this one will face either Jelle Klaasen who is in
140.
potentially the form of his life, you could describe it as. Or Raymond van Barneveld, and who knows what form Raymond van Barneveld's in.
I watched a game on Sunday with Klassen against Robbie Green, and it was absolutely insane. Played at a fair lick, and it went 6-5, and there was only one leg over 15 darts, and that was just 17, and that was the last one. Everything else was 11s and 12s and 13s. It was something special. And Robbie Green, did you see that I think it was the Grand Slam qualifier? He had 3 10-darters.
Steady.
Yeah, it's a bit special.
We do get to see Jelle Klaassen this evening taking on Raymond van Barneveld. Not in the next game. It's the game after that. The next game involves the world champion, Gary Anderson, against Brendan Dolan. But there's some way to go in this one as two of the big beasts in world darts collide.
Chalk and cheese, that one, Anderson and Dolan.
Well, we saw Gary struggle against Mensur Suljovic, as Stuart was saying in commentary earlier on.
Yeah, especially with someone like Chizzy, who loves a good pace to a game and gets into his rhythm.
105. James should require 96.
There you go, Totten. He might have gone tops for double 18.
64. Terry, you require 56.
For a break back.
Tops for the ball. Now for double 10.
46.
Oh, Terry Jenkins.
Never
can't
looked
afford to
likely
do
that, did it? Wasn't convinced.
This isn't Wadey's favourite double, though.
Game Sean.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, he's James Wade.
He hits what he wants.
Well, if you did fancy Wade to go all the way here and win this one, he probably does. If he doesn't, he's picked the wrong t-shirt. But if you did, he's going to have we could have a very, very tough route.
Yeah.
It could be Barney next, the 5-time world champion. Then it could be Gary Anderson. Then it could be some bloke called Taylor, and then it could be MVG. Now, if you do go and beat all of those back to back to back to back to back, you have earned it. But we know Wade isn't scared. He actually likes going up against these guys. And just
reminiscent of Deller's great run when he won the Worlds in '83. He actually defeated the top 3 players in the world. Jockey, Lowe and Bristow all on the spin.
I bet he's mentioned that a few times.
No, never.
Today.
Yeah.
Oh, hang about, James.
22. Terry, you require 161.
Well, doesn't need to go for the ball. Is he going to?
121.
False start there from Russ Ray, just seeing if he'd hit the double there.
Needs a treble to leave some kind of finish.
99. Terry, you require 40.
Now then, Terry.
Game show.
There we go.
Terry Jenkins. Fifth James.
James there, just mouth rubbish. Wasn't that good?
Well, it's well known that Terry Jenkins has made 9 major finals. One of them last year, of course.
59.
Right here. Well, not here in Belgium, I should say, but at the European Championship, where Michael van Gerwen proved to be, once again, a final hurdle that was just too big for the ball. But it's not like in these 9 major finals that he's been losing to mugs.
No.
He's been beaten by Taylor 4 times, Wade twice, Barney, Lewis and MVG. Now, you would hope if you're going to make 9 major finals,
You'd get one.
Just one one surprise finalist. I maybe one day Terry the Bull and Mervyn King will meet in a final and they'll just play forever and neither of them will win because it's fate and they're not allowed to win a PDC major. But
have you dreamt about that?
a never-ending game between Mervyn King and Terry Jenkins would be incredible.
83. 82. James
Well, not got down to a finish there, Terry. So Wade can just plod towards a double in this leg.
That's the trouble, though.
94. James should require
That last dart has cost Terry Jenkins, leaving him 99. Wade's only going to get one dart at tops.
If Terry gets a go, he's only going to get one dart at a double.
Game
Not going to get a go.
James Wade.
So James Wade takes a 4-1 lead into the break. Terry Jenkins, if he's going to repeat his run.